And we're live. You guys want to listen to a part of PKA together?
You both got married at a really young age, and maybe she was doing the online promiscuous stuff to try to keep.
Wow.
Smart checks it out, brings it back, and he goes, sir, I'm going to let you go. You have enough.
Okay. It starts at the top. I thought it was like.
I just want to piss standing up.
I bet a pallet of snow would give you like an orgasm. You could draw your name in it.
I don't think so. Oh gosh.
I will show it. Hold on.
I wouldn't have gone that far, but
Is there any way to go back to the anal fissures? I mean, I don't know.
Wow. No
little
more
more
anal.
class.
All right, let's just make a rule right now.
Yeah, let's just class it up, please.
From henceforth, there shall be no more discussion of anal fissures
Oh,
on
Jesus.
the Painkiller Already podcast.
And I was a
I think
dumbass that asked
everyone-
the question about what the heck an anal fissure even was. And
Yeah,
you
dude,
told
I
me in
can't believe you asked.
Can
that
we skip
question.
ahead to
in
my. Yeah, I'm going to look for my
incredible
part.
detail.
This
I
is
was
not
like,
it.
in your house.
That works.
Yeah. So,
So do you want to talk about what led up to that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
We're just getting
I
started.
lived this script. I married my wife, or I met my wife in college, and figured, well, shit, let's, everyone gets married, and or meet your mate in college, and everyone was getting married, so I proposed early on, and this has been the woman that I've been with since I'm literally 20 or 21 years old. Mm-hmm. And, the marriage has always been a little bit more difficult than probably it needed to be. And, we ended up shitting out a bunch of kids, which made things a little bit more difficult. I've actually got 4 daughters. I love them.
I don't think that's how you do that.
yeah.
Oh, really?
I don't know what you're taught in your state for sex education, but typically kids are not shat out.
Sorry.
I sort of skipped class. I don't know. After about 3 kids, I'm like, how does this keep happening to me? I don't get it. But
Okay.
yeah, I have 4 wonderful daughters, and towards the end of my marriage, I found that my wife would, this is around the Facebook time, so she got involved with Facebook, and she would end up just withdrawing, and I'm spending a lot of time, by herself, and me being the kind of guy that sort of doesn't get it, but then after a while, when I sort of figure things out, my antenna goes up, and long story short,
Allow me to interrupt. So Dan works in IT and information technology like I do. And, compared to his wife, he just has it all over her with regards to computer prowess.
You don't ever, and I'm going to tell my girls this, you're not going to be able to get away with jack shit when it comes to computer. I will figure it out. I'm smarter than you when it comes to computers in general. And my wife especially. And I just figured out, and I'm sort of
Donation?
ashamed of this, but I would
Woody, can you tell the story of how Lefty came on the show and how you met him after Dan?
Sure.
And the video.
Remind me, chat.
would scan the network for what she was doing, but really what she was doing was trading semi-nude pictures of herself with some guy that she went to high school with, and he was living up in Maine.
Could you see the pictures of the guy?
I did, and the guy was. This is a funny story. The guy that really,
God, I'm
Yeah.
ashamed, Dan. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it.
Well,
was-
Kyle, how come you want pictures of the guy and not his wife or ex-wife?
Good question.
I think he's apologizing for being that guy.
Oh. I didn't even get that the second
I
time.
didn't even get that. Go on. So,
Yeah, so I did this big elaborate thing. For me, I just wanted to find out what was going on. As a man would have just confronted, maybe smacked her a few times, but I sort of,
instead Dan's like, oh, look, she's sending her passwords in clear text. I will have all the mails in there forwarded to my account so I can keep up.
Details. I set up a Gmail account where this shit was forwarded to. It was a really elaborate scheme, and I was driving myself crazy because I was seeing sort of this in real time. So I ended up going out. I think it was like NFL playoffs were going on, and I was going to go out drinking with my buddies, and she's like, "Oh, go with your friends. Don't worry about it. I'll be here, fine." And I knew what she was doing, but I just went anyway, and ended up coming back and trying to bust her in the middle of the act. I don't even know what the act is. I don't know what she was doing with this material, but I knew that she had this thing with this guy.
So you
I
drive
ended
her
up
home,
I'm driving home through this small town in North Carolina, and I'm out of my mind, and I'm just buzzing through town, and this cop is coming in the opposite direction, and he ends up, I guess it's simple math to figure out how fast someone's going. He ends up pulling me over, and he walks up and he goes, Dan, or he goes, sir, do you know how fast we're going? And I go, sir, I'm about to go home and catch my wife in the middle of like an affair. I think is how I described it. And he goes, okay, well, license and registration. So he goes back to his car, checks it out, brings it back, and he goes, sir, I'm going to let you go. You have enough problems on your hands, but I don't want to read about you in the newspaper tomorrow. So he lets me go. I end up going back. Nothing's happening, but I end up finding pictures on the camera of her kind of in various states of undress.
But there's more. The pictures weren't on the camera.
Oh, the pictures. Yeah, that's a good point. So I don't know how much time we have here. The pictures, there was no pictures on the camera. It was wiped clean. I'm like, that's interesting. We always have pictures of the kids or whatever. So there's obviously evidence that has been cleaned up. So me being, computer crazy guy, there's ways of getting that material back. So I get the pictures back off of the flash card, and of course there's all the evidence in its glory, and it's her. It wasn't horrible stuff, but it was her with her shirt off, and pictures of this guy, on her computer, and it was just, it was just a bad scene, and
this complete jackass is like, I sent you pictures with my shirt off. I need pictures of you with your shirt off.
Yeah, and he's sounding like a pro. It's like, okay, now it's your turn, and he's, he sort of has that really creepy kind of, like picture in the bathroom with the camera in front of his face, like his iPhone, whatever, and snapping a picture in front of his eyes. What was that?
He said he was sorry.
Yeah, well, listen, this is funny. So I end up, fast forwarding a little bit, I end up separating from her, and I'm a miserable wreck. I mean, I've been with this woman.
I got a question.
Yeah, go
Before his questions, you notice he fast forward? Mark of a pro.
ahead.
Did she ever really cross the line, other than the pictures back and forth on the internet?
So let me ask you this. So what is crossing the line in this context? I mean, let me ask you this. Is that cheating? When she is...
That's what I'm asking you. Is that cheating? Because...
Absolutely cheating. In my mind, it's cheating.
Because some people would consider that very small.
Right. When you have in my book, if you have an emotional affair with somebody, and it's more than just, just a loss of sanity for one given second. If you carry it forward, if you've got an emotional connection with somebody and you're trading fucking naked pictures with them, that is absolutely cheating. And from a female perspective, I can't speak for you, Miss Kitty, but I don't know. I think the physical stuff is actually even means less. If you've got a connection with somebody, even if it's virtual, that's not good. And I think that's cheating territory. I don't know. What do you think?
To me, it's cheating. It's somehow easier to get over than the physical side, though. Like, if I look, sometimes people stray in their marriage, right? I would hate it if it were mine, but people happens in marriages recover from this from time to time. I would find it more difficult to recover if she had gone that extra step and had the physical relationship too.
Oh, it would have been difficult, But the thing is, I confronted her, and in my little mind, I was thinking, she's caught with the evidence, and she's just going to sit there and drop to her knees and begging for forgiveness. Well, she's pissed off at me because I'm basically, I'm looking at her computer. I'm scanning the freaking network. I mean, I'm spying on her, and that's what she's pissed about. So, this was the beginning of the end of my marriage. And I actually look back and I'm thinking to myself, I could have done so many things different, and I could have kept on. I could have actually kept that marriage together, but I sort of made every mistake in the book. When you're caught in that situation, there's so many things you could be doing right, and there's so many things you could be doing wrong, and I did all the wrong stuff.
You might have said this before. How old were y'all when y'all got married?
So we got married. So I was dating this woman. I started at 21 years old, and we got married at 26, which, by the way, I think that's too young. I think you need to wait. And Woody's going to disagree with me because he got married really young. But in my opinion, I think you need to live life.
Was she 26 as well?
She was 24.
24?
Yeah.
I was just wondering, because in my mind, I'm trying to defend her, and I'm thinking, but you both got married at a really young age, and maybe she was doing the online promiscuous stuff to try to keep herself from taking that extra step and taking it to a physical level to try to keep the marriage together.
Who are you, Dr. Phil? That's,
No, you don't see what I'm getting at. Since she got married so young, she didn't really have one of those long party lines from her past.
yeah.
And she was kind of reaching out for something exciting to try to keep herself from, like going out with like the bus boy or the pool boy or whatever to get her kicks so she could keep the marriage together.
Yeah, I mean,
so much ass.
what was that?
What'd you say, Kyle?
I said pool boys get so much ass.
That's gonna be my next career move, by the way.
There you go, man. We're going to business together.
But we end up separating, and I'm just a miserable wreck. And what's funny is I end up landing at Woody's house. So first off, I go to my parents, and that's the one place you don't want to go back to. It's like, for me, it's just the walk of shame to go back to your parents' house and live with them again. And they reminded me very quickly of why I didn't want to be there when I was 18 years old. And my parents are great in the sense that they will welcome you in, but they will do everything possible, subtle stuff, to make sure that you don't want to stay. I mean, they're going to make your life a little bit miserable. And it was a reminder of just what I went through at 18. And they're great parents. I can't complain. But I got the hell out of there after about 2 weeks. And I don't know what happened. I don't know how we connected. But somehow you offered your house to me. And I ended up taking you up on it. And it was, I guess it was there for what, 3 months, 3 or 4 months maybe?
Yeah, 3-4 months, something like that.
Yeah, and
get things figured out.
Yeah, and it was great, man. I had a really good time. And Woody's one of these guys, and I have all these knucklehead friends that are like, you need to get your fuck on, man. She's cheating on you. You need to go bang hookers, and you need to go to the strip clubs every other week, and you need to do this, and you need to key your car, and you need to hire a private investigator, and all the things that, in retrospect, would have been bad ideas. And Woody is like, dude, you need to, let's explore this. And it was sort of like sitting on the therapy couch almost, in a way that it's like you need that kind of positive support versus, my knucklehead neighbor who was, basically going out saying you need to go bang everything and, every 20-year-old in town.
Now that the divorce is finalized, banging more girls.
I should be, yeah. Maybe it was horrible advice, Woody. Maybe I should have listened to the other
Last night go well?
Last night did go. So I'm a single guy again, which is crazy because, like I said, I've been with the same woman since I was 20 years old, right? My entire adult life. So now I'm thrust into this whole dating situation at the time 39, and now I'm 40. I'm ancient. And just trying to figure this whole thing out. And it's amazing. There are so many people out there that are better matches. And I really look at my relationship with my wife, and there's so many things that just didn't kind of fit together, and we fought about everything. And to me, I was thinking, God, she's the only one for me. I couldn't even think about being with anybody else. And I sort of thought that for the first couple of years. And last night, this woman, she was sexy and well-groomed, and she was an anarchist on top of everything else. She was like, wanted to live off the grid and like grow her own food, and wanted to like, and to
She'll
me, that's exciting.
Partner.
Yeah.
She can take my spot. I
She
just
is
dawned on me.
Right.
Dude, did you ever get back at that guy who Facebooked your ex-wife?
No, but I never did. I never.
Oh my
but,
God! So
Yeah.
so what's his name, by the way? His first and last name. If we put it on the stream, there might see. I think you should tell his wife. I care as much about his marriage as he does about yours. Like, I hate this guy.
Okay, let me ask you this though. So it's 2 years later. Do you think it's really necessary to kind of go back there? And
It's still
own him,
necessary.
Yes,
Let's do it.
Absolutely. Let's own him. What's his name?
I'll have to dig it up. I actually forget. But
Dude, this
We will
guy
fuck
is
his
a
life
jackass.
up.
Dude, I want his life, man. Not that I
hey,
want
what
to
job
live his
does he
life.
do?
I want to own his life. He's a cop. Fuck him, man. Fuck this guy.
No. Here's an idea. He's a cop.
Okay.
That means you can call in anonymous complaints.
and
Get him
I don't
fired.
know.
Oh,
Fired.
Dude, cops
I want
shoot
him to
people
live
without
under
getting
a bridge.
fired.
so here's a funny story. So I was sitting on his couch. I mean, this is I would say 2 years ago, and I'm sitting there weeping about just being a big pussy about everything. And I'm like, yeah. And Woody goes, maybe we should pay this guy a visit. Let's straighten him out. Let's kick his ass. And I'm like, I don't know. He's sort of a big guy, lives up in Maine, and he's like, yeah, we'll see how big he is. Because I guess at that point you were like really into kind of.
I was like fighting all the time,
So
dude.
you
Like I was
jujitsu?
kicking cop in my I had 2 cops and 2 prison guards that I trained with all the time, and none of them couldn't fight for crap. And
Right.
I was like, this guy's gonna be the same. We'll see how big he is.
You were totally ready to go up there
I
and
was.
take the road trip, and I was almost there with you, man. It would have been. It would have turned out horribly, I'm sure, but it would have been a hell of a road trip. Let me
Cross
tell you.
state lines and beat up a cop.
What could go wrong?
That seems perfect to me.
Right, so all you guys have piqued my interest. So, I mean, should we really dig this whole thing up? Do you think I should drop? Because I've got old emails. I think I've got a couple pictures.
I
of
don't
the
think
guy.
you should.
You
I
don't
think you
so?
should. It's
This
called
guy
emotional
ruined his
scars.
marriage,
And
man.
if you
I
bury
don't
this
think
shit
so. I
because you ain't
think, like,
prism,
if you've kind of buried it and stuff, why dig up all that stuff again?
No. All
Dude,
right.
this is my friend Dan, and there are penalties for fucking with him.
It's-
That's how this goes
Yeah, I
down.
understand, but
Dan,
I don't know.
If it won't.
If it was like a year after it, I'd be like, yeah, do it. Like,
What difference does it
But
make?
2 years? I don't know.
No. You can't escape. There's no getting
But
There's
if
no
you're gonna do
statute
it,
of
like,
limitations
you've got to
on
go, like-
ruining a man's marriage.
You
There's no
say
statute of limitations on sending semi-nude pictures and receiving them from some other man's wife. There's no forgiveness. There's no
We
like,
need to
you
get
know what?
Kimmy J to send
Fuck this
naked
guy.
It's
pictures
been
of
like
Kimmy
600
G.
days.
Guy.
Let's let this slide. No, this doesn't slide. This doesn't slide until this guy's suicidal.
Absolutely. You know what, Kimmy J? This guy is #1 asshole.
Yeah,
All right.
I think we get Kimmy J to send naked pictures of him to that guy.
This guy knew exactly what he was doing, right? This guy.
Oh, he was a
knew-
pro. Yeah.
This was
no question.
he was a pro at breaking up a marriage that had 4 daughters in it. Right? This is not a trivial thing. This is
Right.
this is freaking. This guy needs. I want vengeance. Fuck, screw Dan. I want vengeance.
Well, okay, so
you guys got my brain going. What you could do to a cop across the state line without just beating him up? And you guys want to hear a couple of the ideas?
Yes.
let's hear it.
Oh God!
All right, you go there. You wait till he goes to work. You break into his house. You set a bear trap in front of the front door, and then you leave.
Wait a minute. I think I saw this on Looney Tunes last week.
No, the fact is, okay, first thing you do when you walk in the house, you open the door, you throw it open, you go right for the light switch. You don't look down. The man steps on the bear trap, it breaks his leg, and he's got to crawl to the fucking phone. You're in another state.
That's a horrible idea. And when
See, I wanted to
I
just
mean,
setting
awesome.
people on fire.
Oh.
Sorry.
Wow. So
the easiest
sort
way
of-
to get back at him is
Yeah,
just to
go-
get his name out there, right? I mean, we can tell his.
I'm still
wife-
pushing
he's
at
married
this.
too, by the way. You know,
Oh my God. Okay, chop his dick off as well while you're at it.
yeah,
No, but that's-
this
no, that's
guy's
you can do
married.
It's-
This
yeah.
guy's married, and Dan's marriage is over, and his is cruising along fine.
Kimmy
This is
J had the
bullshit.
best suggestion yet. She said,
What?
"Eat it." Kimmy J said, "Eat his dog."
He's the #1 commentator from Vietnam.
Let me ask you this. So what the
I
heck would
like-
Charlie Sheen do in this situation?
What would what? Oh, Charlie Sheen.
Charlie Sheen. What would Charlie Sheen do?
The Tiger
Charlie
Blood
Sheen was
days.
a Coke and a hooker.
Yeah, Charlie Sheen would do his wife and 2 others at the same time.
Yes.
That's how he would handle it. And afterwards, he'd be like, "I showed her the time of her life. You know,
Right.
this is a party experience that I gave her. It's by winning."
Dude, can we talk about Charlie Sheen? Can we get off like I'm as
Yeah,
as
sure,
interesting-
man.
Absolutely.
All right. So that was the story of PKA Dan. And thank you for the subs, boys. I appreciate that. Thank you, NJ Pixo and Canadian. I appreciate you guys. But yeah, man. So that was PKA Dan, and that was the story of his wife being, some level of unfaithful. And that was back when PKA was an audio show, and The games that I thought weren't good enough to be like commentated videos, I would just throw them on Painkiller Already, and that was that. I don't know, 480p? That's some crap. I guess I thought the gameplay didn't matter. I wish it was 1080 now that it's like 10 years later.